Welcome to A Course in Miracles 365, Awakening to Love. I'm your host, Tomas Garza. Well, and it's always fun for me to be here with you all today. So I want to thank you for tuning in wherever you're tuning in from. We had literally an international crew yesterday, and we do every day. So feel free to stop in, say hello here in the comments if you're catching me live. Feel free to say hi. Let me know if you have any questions or comments about the material as we go through it for today, because as always with the Course in Miracles, it's foundational to universal spirituality, truth with a capital T. What else is there? Answer, nothing. And life itself. So no matter what your spiritual practice looks like, no matter what your walk, your journey looks like, or where you find yourself in the midst of that, there is something here in this live stream for you, especially because you're watching it right now. So this is always a good question for us, isn't it? It's, okay, why am I watching this right now? Out of all of the stuff that's available on YouTube, out of everything streaming right now, worldwide at this moment, what is it that I need to get out of these next 20 minutes? Right? What is it that someone's going to say, some random guy from Arizona is going to say that I need to hear today? Right? What is that? And you're here to get that information and to hear it. And that's the beauty of all of this. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. You're here for a reason checking this out. So first of all, welcome. All right. And whatever you need to hear that I'm about to say in the next 15, 20 minutes, I hope that it's powerful. Yeah, I hope that it is very deep and very powerful and precisely what you need. If you need something gentle, I hope it's gentle. If you need something that hits you like a ton of bricks, then I hope it hits you hard, right? In a good way, of course. Because spirituality is like that, isn't it? We get exactly what we need, exactly when we're supposed to get it. Shouldn't that serve as conclusive proof that we're being guided by a tremendous power that knows what's good for us and what we need at any given moment? And that shouldn't this serve as conclusive proof that when we go off on our own and abandon this guide or these guides, this power, ourself with a capital S, God, the Holy Spirit, Jesus, Source, Buddha, whomever, when we go off on our own, we sort of make a mess of things, don't we? In fact, we really make a mess of things. We mess up, we obscure things, we become fearful and indecisive. This is what is meant in spirituality worldwide by getting out of our own way. Now, here in the West, a number of people that are raised in a Christian tradition say, let go and let God. I know we've all heard that. This is what we're talking about here. You can change the words around however you want to, but what we're talking about with this is just letting go of our need to control everything. Because when we look at everything that we've ever attempted to control or manipulate, have we come any closer to lasting happiness? Well, you might say, well, I'm richer, right? I have a nicer house, a nicer car, I've got more social status, etc. Okay. Is that going to last for all time? In fact, beyond time, permanently? Of course not, right? Of course not. That's why we're doing spiritual practice in the first place, It is nothing more and nothing less than awakening to the truth of who we really are, of who you really are. So I hope that you may make some massive quantum leaps in that direction today. So we're at lesson 146 in the workbook. Now we're in the midst of a review period, as you may be aware. And for the next few days, we're reviewing some lessons that we have previously covered. If you want to take a look at the live stream for that particular day, check out the YouTube page for Enlightened World Network. Every show has its own playlist. There are about 170, 175 videos from this show alone on there because we started at the beginning of this year. And well, I've lost count exactly. They're all there. So lesson 146 reviews lessons 131 and 132 in the workbook. If you're following along, that's what we're covering today. So these review periods invite us to spend some time contemplating the idea that my mind holds only what I think with God. Only. My mind holds only what I think with God. And of course, that implies nothing else. It doesn't hold anything else. These are what the Course refers to as our real thoughts. And as you may imagine, they're loving thoughts. They're thoughts of sharing, extending kindness, extending love, extending joy and compassion. It's organic belly laughter. Yeah, it's a giant spontaneous smile. It's joy, it's exuberance. And if you are new to A Course in Miracles, at the beginning of the text of the Course, there's a summary, and it says the Course can be summed up very, very briefly and very succinctly. It says nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. All right. Nothing real can be threatened. My mind holds only what I think with God. My real thoughts are the ones that I think with God, the loving thoughts, the thoughts of sharing and extension and joy, forgiveness, love. Those are real and cannot be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. And that does mean, in truth, nothing that we see with our physical eyes truly exists and is real. Nothing that we experience with the body's senses, nothing that we comprehend in symbols like language. Reality is beyond all of this. And what we're doing is we are getting out of our own way so that we may begin to perceive correctly. Realities beyond even perception, which involves the subject and an object. However, to get to the place where we're going, we do need to experience and see our real thoughts. The Course calls it the real world. We need to let go of the fear-based thoughts. That's the ego. So it's a process. We do it a step at a time. So we're invited to sit with this idea, and I invite you to do just that. My mind holds only what I think with God. Only, and nothing else. So lessons 131 and 132, when seen in this light, I hope bring an extra added oomph for your day. Let them bring some more clarity and power. Here's lesson 131. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. Isn't that wonderful? No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. If you make a decision, and I dare say, when you make a decision to reach the truth, you will not fail. Your success, your strength, power is guaranteed. Can you say that about switching jobs in the world? Can you say that about signing up a new client in business if you're an entrepreneur? Yeah. Your success is guaranteed. It's guaranteed by truth, by the truth of who you are. We're awakening to this. If you make a decision to seek the truth, you will not fail. You will have mighty, mighty companions with you. And you do. And the cool thing about all this is they've never left us. Your guides have never left or abandoned you. Real true guides, if they're true guides, right? Human or non-human. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. So have you really decided that that's what you want to do? Have you decided that you want to go home, so to speak? It's not a place, of course, but have you decided that you want the peace of God? Have you made up your mind? Have you changed your mind to have this goal, the peace of God, as the goal for you, not a goal, the goal? That's a question that I want to invite you to ask yourself, because only you, of course, can answer that. This is part of the beauty of spirituality, and it's part of the, well, the complaining that we get over pretty quickly on the path. We're responsible for our own awakening, which is exciting. Now, at first, you might think, okay, well, I'd really prefer somebody to come in and wave a magic wand, wave their hands, right, like Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars, make everything better. But it's not realistic. Spirituality is an adult endeavor, and it's all about owning our own experience. We create it. So if we follow this logic, which I invite you to do, you've created your experience. You can recreate it. You can refashion it to go all the way deep and decide that you want the peace of God. That's seeking to reach the truth. If you really seek to reach the truth, you will experience the truth. You will not fail. You can't. It's impossible. And again, we can't say that about anything in the world, which is rife with impermanence, constant flux, change. Our success in the world is far from guaranteed. We have it one minute, don't have it the next. Yeah. So I invite you to consider where you're placing your energy, not where you're placing your mind. Lesson 132. This is a very interesting and fun review lesson. I loose the world from all that I thought it was. Loose meaning I let go of. I loose the chains. I let go of the reins, let go of the rope. I abandon and just leave to the side everything I thought the world was. Did you think that the world was your salvation? I mean, ultimate. Did you think that the world was going to provide you with lasting happiness? Well, that, if you think about it, it's impossible, because the physical body is impermanent. It doesn't last. So how can everything that appears to surround us and encapsulate us, and, well, if you prefer to think of it, encase us, just not too far from the way we experience it, is it? If you think that that is going to provide lasting happiness, then, well, I invite you to think again. Not that we can't have cool stuff. We got a really nice new car out there that I love. It's a 2021 Nissan, and it's got Bluetooth audio and all kinds of fancy devices that I haven't even figured out yet, but it's pretty cool. So I've never had that before. I mean, for years, I just drove a beat up old pickup. So yeah, these fancy gadgets are cool. It's not permanent happiness. So in order for us to experience permanent happiness, we do need to change our minds about what everything is for. I mean, this is one of the very first exercises in the workbook for students that has us admit to ourselves that we do not know what anything is for. Well, what is all of this that we see for? What's this new car for? What is an opportunity to forgive for? Well, it's for spiritual practice. Everything that we see, all of our phenomena are symbolic of fear-based thoughts. We could choose to see it differently. We can choose to see something beautiful as symbolic of our abundance in God, yeah, as Christ, okay? Not with, but as. A Course in Miracles takes us real deep, takes us to, as far as we can get with words, to truth. And then it just, it's like a good teacher, it points the way. And we allow our higher self, God, the Holy Spirit, yeah, your guides, to do the rest. We get out of our own way to the point where direct communication flows seamlessly and easily. In other words, we remove all of the obstacles. So thinking that the world is the end all be all is an obstacle, isn't it? Yeah. And this is not to say don't have fun. Oh, I do. Oh, yeah. 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 There are plenty of places here in our experience for spontaneous dance parties, for a float in the pool out back, right? For having a beautiful hike in nature, followed by a very cold craft brew. There is opportunity for fun everywhere. And we can enjoy things here in the world and laugh without believing that it's real, without having it be the sole arbiter of our peace of mind. Because it's not capable of that. It's all impermanent, in constant flux. Everything, every single particle and wave is in motion, everything. Some of it just moves more slowly, and to us that appears solid, like a table or a rock. If we let go of all of our preconceived notions about what the world is, we enter into what in Zen Buddhism is called beginner's mind, letting go of all our assumptions that we know everything, letting go of all of our misconceptions, because they are misconceptions and preconceived notions about what is and what's coming, and our attempts, our vain attempts to orchestrate all phenomena, to control everything, manipulate everything. I mean, you may not think of yourself as a control freak, but if you trust in the ego, it, well, makes you a control freak, because you'll always be terrified of the impermanence of the ego. It's not even real. It's not one of the thoughts that we think with God. It's just a false idea about ourselves. It's just an idea that we have about ourselves. And the world is a world of ideas. Change your mind. I invite you to do that. This course and spiritual practice in general is all about that. It's all about that, changing our mind. And when we do, we obviously see things differently, don't we? We begin to experience the world quite literally in a different light. We experience it in light, period, as in the light of truth, the light of who we really are. If you have started out on this road and you consider that you've made some progress, whatever that looks like for you, you'll see just by looking at where you are now versus where you were when you began your particular practice, that you see things differently. Situations appear differently. They appear more loving, don't they? They appear more benign, despite all of the all of the stuff that is going on in the world. I mean, it's going on today, it's going to go on tomorrow and the next day. And will it end eventually? Yeah. When all of us wake up, then yeah, definitely. Until then, what we have to do is work on our own mind. That's where the action is. So, a question for you: what can I do today to show up as love? What does choosing love look like for me today? And remember, I invite you to take all of this in the context of this particular workbook lesson. My mind holds only what I think with God, and no one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. Also, I loose the world from all that I thought it was. I let go of all of my preconceived notions. So how many can you let go of today? Surely there's something begging you for release. That's what what we might call troublesome experience in the world is, if we choose to see it that way, and I do absolutely encourage you to see it this way, is see it as an opportunity to let go of your preconceived notions. See it as an opportunity for forgiveness. If you read something on the internet that disturbs you, forgive everyone involved. You don't have to call them up. You don't have to tell anyone about it. Do it in your own heart right now. Do it in your own mind right now. Release the unconscious baggage that we all carry. And when you do this for yourself, everybody benefits. Every single person in the world benefits. All right. Well, I want to say hello to a couple of you that have joined me here live. Thank you for tuning in. Isabel, hi, how are you? And Josie, hi. Hi, good afternoon. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in here. This is always fun to say hello to you live. It's part of the benefit of lives. So if either of you or anyone else catching this has any questions, feel welcome to type them here in the comments, and I will get to them here throughout the day. So where we're going from here is we're going to continue this week to review further lessons from the workbook in A Course in Miracles. And they're very, very thought-provoking. Yeah. So if this has been thought-provoking, good. The next time we talk, it'll be thought-provoking too. And the next, and the next, and the next. All right. Well, thank you for joining me here today. It's been a pleasure, and I will talk to you all very soon.